Welcome to our Tuesday Talent Series. Today's session is work-based learning, tapping into tomorrow's workforce today. I added that word at the end, today, because I think that's really what Stefanie can do for folks today. So we are sponsored by Plante Moran. They're among the nation's largest accounting, tax, consulting, and wealth management firms, and they provide a full line of services to organizations in the following industries: manufacturing and distribution, financial services, service, healthcare, private equity, public sector, real estate, construction, and energy. This year, they are proudly celebrating 100 years. Plante Moran has a staff of more than 3,300 professionals throughout the United States, with international offices in Shanghai, China, Mumbai, India, Tokyo, Japan, and Monterrey, Mexico. In Colorado, Plante Moran has served its Colorado clients for more than 40 years, with offices in Broomfield, Denver, and Fort Collins. They have been recognized by a number of organizations, including Fortune magazine, as one of the country's best places to work. For more information, please visit plantemoran.com. And now I'm excited to invite our speaker, Stefanie Merrell, to speak next. Stefanie is the K-12 Work-Based Learning Business Manager here at the Chamber. She facilitates work-based learning connections between local businesses and high school students. Her role involves educating businesses on what is work-based learning, what are the benefits, posting opportunities on the career exploration platform Xello, which she'll tell you more about, for directing students to access, and collaborating with educators to match students with suitable placements. These services are provided free of charge to businesses, aiming to foster meaningful partnerships that benefit both parties and strengthen our local workforce pipeline. I happen to know also that Stefanie has 2 children in high school and middle school, and an amazing husband who's a wonderful artist here in our community. So Stefanie, we're excited to have you with us today.
Thank you, Yvonne, and thanks for having me today, and thanks for joining me. I would like to briefly introduce myself. Again, Stefanie Merrell, K-12 Work-Based Learning Business Manager, and I have been in this role for, this will be my 3rd year now in work-based learning, working alongside the Chamber and within the Chamber and alongside the school districts. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. Okay, just making sure that worked. Everyone can see my screen okay? Perfect. Yep. Thank you. All right, so I wanted to also just point out that Deidre Motes is on the call, and Deidre, I'll have you introduce yourself a little bit later, but she is from the gallery at Fort Collins Senior Living Community, and Deidre is here to join us as a community business leader and share her perspective of high school work-based learning a little bit later in the program. Thank you for being here, Deidre. All right, let's get going. Okay, so today I just wanted to define our presentation goal. The goal today is to understand work-based learning and how engaging with high school students can benefit your organization. And we'll go into those details a little bit later in the presentation as well, but we want to talk about work-based learning, so let's define work-based learning. Work-based learning comes in a variety of different opportunities. So it's an educational strategy, and it provides students with this real life work experience alongside their academic experience. So basically, we're talking about internships, of course. I think we're familiar with internships as a business community, but also other opportunities. And some of these opportunities are what I refer to as more low-hanging fruit for businesses to get in front of high school students. So something as easy as connecting to a student for an informational interview, perhaps, or allowing a student to be at your organization for a job shadow. Even volunteer experience. And then those, of course, are bringing the students to the organization, but there's other work-based learning opportunities to connect to high school students, such as going into a school to be a guest speaker in your industry or business as a professional from your business or industry. Also, if you wanted to, let's say, join a district or a high school for a career fair or a opportunity for, let's say, career tour. There's just a lot of options when it comes to work-based learning. So again, we often think about internships, which is awesome, but there's other opportunities as well. And I wanted to point out here on the slide, as Yvonne mentioned, and in my introduction, we utilize a career platform called Xello, and that's Xello. And when I say we utilize this career platform, I want to be very clear about this collaboration in Northern Colorado. So basically, the school districts have bought into this platform, Xello, and Xello is a career exploration platform that starts as early as middle school, actually. And middle schoolers can start introducing themselves to the careers that are out there. I don't know about you, but when I was in middle school and high school, I knew about maybe 10 careers, right? You could be a doctor, you could be a nurse, you could be a fireman, a teacher, maybe what your parents are. But this system has hundreds and hundreds of possible careers listed and explanations of those careers. So middle schoolers utilize Xello, and so do high schoolers. The high school part opens up this whole other world of actually connecting to businesses, which is where I come in. I actually meet with the businesses, put them into this platform, and then those connections between the business and the students are made. We'll get into that a little bit later. The timeline of this collaborative is interesting because Poudre School District in 2018 kind of started us off. So they adopted Xello for all of their students. So again, all middle school and high school students have this platform and they're utilizing it within Poudre School District. And then as you can see in 2021, Thompson, Estes Park, and Colorado Early Colleges all adopted the platform as well. What they found is there's a lot of students out there who want to connect to businesses for work-based learning opportunity. And of course, there are many educators at the school level helping students connect to work-based learning opportunities. But the platform is only as good as the number of businesses in it. So that's when I arrived. In June of 2022, I received a grant that I was hired for a grant that the Fort Collins Area Chamber received. And that grant allowed me to prove the concept that having someone business facing in the community and talking to businesses about work-based learning, the benefits of work-based learning, would add more businesses to the Xello platform and then create more opportunities and more connections between the business and the students, both benefiting business and benefiting students through these opportunities. So that's why it's the chamber is on this timeline. And then now there's several Weld County school districts, as you can see from 2023 to current, who have also adopted the system. So that has created this collaboration between Larimer County and Weld County. So this platform actually reaches over 25,000 students in our area. So that is a powerful number, and it's a powerful number for businesses to realize that this is a one-stop shop, right? The great part is that there's no cost to it. There's no cost for my work. I work through the chamber, as I've said, with a greater goal of just connecting local business to students for that workforce pipeline. And of course, the school districts, as I had mentioned, have bought into the Xello platform. So there's no fee or membership or anything that you need to worry about through to connect to Xello. So I want to always put that out there first. So I think because we're talking about Xello, we're talking about this platform, I'd like to give just a short introduction to the system so that you can see what the students see when they're in this portal. What I often hear when I show this to businesses is, where was this when I was a kid? And I agree, this is a great platform. There are many platforms out there. Again, this is what our region is using. And can I get a confirmation that you can see my Xello dashboard? Thank you. Okay, so I, of course, don't work for a school district. I do have a demo account. So I want to just point out that when we look in this, you might see businesses that you don't recognize or from other states, but that's just because this is a demo account. So all the students that see it in Northern Colorado only connect to the Northern Colorado businesses that we've entered into the platform. So I'm going to pretend I'm in 11th grade here. I'm viewing it as a student. So here we're popping into my demo account. It says, hello, Stefanie. And what I want to point out is the work-based learning portal of this is just a very small snippet of what Xello offers the schools. So what you're seeing now is kind of the educator side of how they utilize the system. And I pointed out that middle schoolers already have Xello accounts, and what they're doing is more exploring for themselves who they are. So you can see they can take these personality quizzes, this learning style, information about their skills, all very helpful in matching them to possible careers for their future. So we are going to just pretend we're a student here, and we're going to go into this matchmaker. And what does matchmaker do? Well, just like any great system, it gives us filters. So right now, here we're at 586 careers that have populated for this particular set of quizzes, criteria that I've put in. In fact, Yvonne mentioned I have two children in the school district, and my son had taken this. And the reason I had my son take my quizzes is because I wanted to be sure that what I knew about my son actually matched in the system. And sure enough, it does. So that was kind of my test in the system. But great first question is, how much money do you need to make to be successful in this area? And I think that that's an important question that we pose in front of students. So let's just go ahead and select something there. We can go to more filters, and we can see that we can filter by the demand, the personality style, so on and so forth. I happen to know he wants to be an architect, which says it's suggested. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Of course, we can see many clusters that we could start populating here. We're down to 68 careers. You can start filtering by school subjects as well, but for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and get started with this. And I want to point out here that my son initially wants to be a landscape architect. Well, we can see right here, it's saying there is a decreasing demand for that. What I also know about him, and let's go ahead and click on that for this. There we go. He also has thought very hard about being a civil engineer, and that looks like it is a match for him as well. So if you have the criteria to be a landscape architect, it's matching you to similar careers that you may have known about or may not have. I'm gonna go ahead and just click on that, and let's look at this. You can start saving it as a student. You can see again suggested careers. It's going to go through a lot of information, job description. It's going to go through interviews with a real life person who's in that role, the pros, the cons, a day in the life, advice, questions and answers. I love this breakdown of activities, right? As a student, we might think we know what is the daily life of some of these professionals, but this is actually a great breakdown of that information. This is where if I wanted to connect to local companies, I could click this companies, let's go. We could see local companies and their opportunities. I'll do that a little bit later. And you can see there's just a lot of information here, working conditions, earnings. There's even earnings by state. If I wanted to move to Alabama, I could see what that pay scale is. And then what is the training and requirements to move through that career path. So that's all fine and dandy. What I wanted to do though, is I wanted to show you that we can also just go ahead and and search as well. So I was going to search social worker. So let's look at social worker. Social worker has all of those same points that we talked about before. And if we go to the companies, this again would be a list of local companies. If we go to the first one on the list, again, this is a demo. Encompass Health shows up. The student can read about the company, and then they can see what opportunities that that company is offering. And this is where they read about the opportunity. So this is where I come in. I work with the company to build their profiles so that anything that shows up on their profile is listed here accurately, as well as any opportunities that they want to offer the students. In this case, we're talking about a job shadow, and the intentionality of my work is showcased here in Xello because it is supposed to be very intentional. So we're not giving the students all the information to apply right away. What we're doing is giving them the opportunity to request it and have that real life conversation with the work-based learning coordinators who are at the high school level to talk to the students about, hey, I see that you've requested this Encompass Health job shadow. This fits with your career pathway. You're available that day for this many hours or this experience. Let me get you more information to connect to the leader of this company who is offering the opportunity. And again, they start linking you to other careers. Let's see, I wanted to go back and just show you one more feature because I think that sometimes businesses are like, that's really great, except that seems kind of like a rabbit hole of exploration to get to my company. What students typically do, and I've talked a lot to the work-based learning coordinators about how they utilize the system the most, and they can go straight to opportunities and they can just see this kind of Indeed type posting, which the most recent is at the top. They can see everything that's listed for all industry. But what Xello does is, again, that intentionality is there. So it labels this as a match. So still you're connecting to the students in the career pathway that they prefer with your business. So there's that matchmaking component is there in this system. I know that that's a lot, but that is kind of the in and out of how the system works. And let me go back. Okay, confirmation, you can see my new screen. Perfect, success. Okay, awesome, thank you. I want to talk a little bit about the Xello data because we all like to see the data. We want to see the success. We want to see how many businesses are participating and who's connecting and how that's working. So businesses and opportunities now, and this changes every day. There's 632 local businesses in the system, and there's over probably 1,300 opportunities right now. I wanted to showcase the number of students who are connecting to that. So when the system started, remember there was just 3 districts in 2021, and there were 296 student requests. I entered the picture in 22, and now with the six districts, there's over 5,000 requests for the opportunities in Xello. So that's amazing. That just proves the concept that the more businesses that play, the more opportunities, you're actually getting those results. You're getting students to connect to your business and your opportunities. And we'll talk about those benefits here in a little bit. So what are students requesting? What are we asking for here? And what is benefiting businesses? Of course, internships, that length of time at a business is beneficial to both the business and the student. But what other opportunities are they requesting? Just part-time and summer jobs, being in the business in a part-time role or a job still counts as work-based learning. So I wanted to showcase that as well, as long as they're getting that knowledge of the industry alongside job shadows. Job shadows are often requested, and apprenticeships, of course. And let's talk about the career clusters or the pathways, the organizations, the industry, the businesses of the top requested opportunities. Hospitality, culinary, tourism, recreation. Health sciences, any healthcare career. Manufacturing is high on the list. And then the agriculture, food and natural resources, and animal science. So those are the top 4 requested industries in the Xello platform. And this data is pulled from right now the 4 school districts that were initially in Xello: Poudre, Thompson, Colorado Early College, and Estes Park. I just wanted to highlight the internship basics. I don't know about you, but I have not been in high school recently. It has been eye-opening to have my son now in high school because the high school curriculum has changed so much. And I think sometimes business owners are stuck on some of the myths or the previous way of attending high school, which for me was you go to the same classes as everyone else and you graduate, and then you think about, where am I going to go to college? What am I going to do? And that's when that process starts. So of course, you can see through work-based learning, that is an outdated way of thinking. And today, really working hard within the school to connect students to possible careers and industries and giving them that education through work-based learning, which of course we've defined as out of school work in an industry or a business. So with that, this can be during the school day. Internships can happen during the school day. So sometimes when I talk to businesses initially, they say, I can't connect to a student because I don't have anything for them to do before their school day or after the school day. I need it in this the bulk of the day. Well, students oftentimes can arrange their schedule, especially when they've already connected to an internship with their counselor and their work-based learning coordinator. So they have that block of time open to perhaps, let's say, go to their work-based learning location at 7 a.m. and stay there through their first quarter class, and then come, or maybe their second, and then, attend school in the afternoon, or vice versa. So when I talk to businesses and they say, I can't connect to students because of the school day, I oftentimes have this conversation about the work-based learning counts as credit in their school day. And that is an eye-opening truth now, which is great for that increased connection. I want to just point out that it can be a job-like experience, or it can be observational. So we've talked about this, but I always say, let's connect where it works best for the company. So if you've never had an intern before, we can certainly, work up to that, or we can talk about how we can perhaps build that internship experience. But starting with a job shadow, an informational interview, even getting in front of students in the classroom, going to their school in front of their intentional health sciences class, you can see what they're learning in that classroom. And so the observational component of work-based learning is very important. Support with hiring. So I love this. So if we use some of the platforms out there to hire individuals, it's just kind of like, you're throwing it out there and you're hoping that someone who connects back is intentional about wanting to connect to you. What's great about work-based learning is I've never known more support to be had when it comes to hiring. So you not only have myself, you have the work-based learning coordinator at the school. The parents have to sign the work-based learning agreements, and of course the student. and the students oftentimes getting credit for that work. So this is a very, again, I keep using the word intentional, but it's intentional hiring, and it's support with hiring, which is awesome. Paid or unpaid. So internships can be paid or unpaid, whatever works best for the business. Of course, paid is always preferred. Students can search paid and unpaid, but the school districts and having conversations with the work-based learning coordinators and the CTE educators are very happy with an internship, that learning component, that knowledge base that students are getting with internships. Internships are backed by that work-based learning agreement that I previously pointed out. So liability and evaluations covered. And as I pointed out previously, there's over 25,000 now students in our region that see these posted opportunities. So that's, again, a really great benefit. Let's see, this slide points out, this was a Poudre School District survey that went out. And the survey was asking, which of the following industries do you see yourself working in after high school or college? So business and marketing is high on that list, health sciences, engineering. You can see that there's a lot of interest in that business, marketing, health science, engineering realm. And with that, we've talked a lot about business benefits, and that's the reason I have Deidre here today. Deidre is the executive director of the gallery at Fort Collins. This is a senior living community that's opening in 2025. And Deidre and I have had a lot of opportunity to talk about work-based learning and how this program and work-based learning in general in Northern Colorado is going to help support her business that's opening up. So Deidre, if you want to come off mute and introduce yourself, and we can talk a little bit more about your perspective of this K-12 work-based learning space. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Hi, I'm Deidre. As Stephanie said, I'm the executive director here for the gallery at Fort Collins. And I've been working with Stephanie and her program here for the last couple of months, and I just couldn't be happier with the results and the benefit that we're receiving. Yeah.
And Deidre, I'll just ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
You and I have talked so much about this, but what are your thoughts specific to utilizing work-based learning as a valuable component to the hiring process, especially as you're opening this new building and think about all of the different departments that need to be filled as you open up?
Yeah, I mean, it's when we first talked about it, I was all on board immediately, because to me as a business leader, it's a no-brainer. If you're going to connect me with, what did you say? You've got 25,000 interested students, and I only need maybe 5 or 6. I mean, the odds are in my favor, right? And the cost, there's no risk, right? There's no cost to it. You do all the screening, the matchmaking, and literally just hand deliver motivated individuals. It's a wonderful benefit as a business leader. I already have a match with a young lady that I met with last week, and she'll be doing an internship at our showroom. We're not even open yet, and we already have someone that's going to be perfect for us. So it's definitely beneficial, I think, on both ends. And as a business leader, who wouldn't want to inspire and attract top talent of the future? So it's great.
Deidre, thank you for that. I also wanted to point out something that you and I have talked a lot about. Of course, you're in healthcare, that's your business.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like you're connecting to an intern who is interested in the marketing or business component. So there's a lot of different aspects of the business. I always say that executive directors, business owners, key leaders in organizations wear many hats. And some of those hats you can take off and hand to someone else who has expertise and knowledge in that. And some you need to keep on because you're focused on your business and your work. So I like to hear that the opportunities are not just healthcare related, but thinking outside the box, you've found an opportunity even before you're open to connect to someone who can help you with that business and marketing side.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was in high school or in college, I never thought, gee, I want to be an executive director of a senior living community, right? That's just a lot of us probably ended up in the careers that we're in and had different steps that took us there. So for example, the president of our company started out as a dishwasher in a senior living community. So this takes the guesswork out of it. It makes it a opportunity that both folks can benefit from, and just speaking with you helped me explore all the different departments. And when we put that profile together, it really gave me the opportunity to plan and to think about what our vision was for our company and all the different aspects and the talent and folks that we could attract with that. Yeah, it was pretty seamless for sure.
Yeah. And one of the other thoughts that I know you and I had is not just connecting to individuals for paid opportunities, but the value to connect to high school students who have interest in the industry, who could help you perhaps, as a volunteer, or maybe a job shadow, or maybe just coming into talking to you more about what you do and what other key leaders in healthcare could do. Can you talk a little bit more about the benefits that you see pertaining to connecting to unpaid opportunities, students who want unpaid opportunities?
Sure. And I always think that there are creative ways to pay people. So we may not be able to put them on the payroll, but that doesn't mean that I can't buy them lunch and offer them, things that would be meaningful to them. So not only would they have the opportunity to learn from our community and from our work environment, but we also have the opportunity to learn from them. So I think we talked about too, they seem to have a different perspective, being that they're younger, right? And so the collaboration between a different generation is beneficial, I think, on both ends. But even to your point, some of the folks that we have been connected with, they're not really, they're motivated, and it's not necessarily by the pay. Right? It's about the experience, it's about the hours, it's about the exposure. And I think that's important on both ends. I want to expose as many young minds and hearts to senior living, whether it's in the culinary department, the sales department, the business office department, the activity department. I want to expose as many young minds to what we have to offer as an industry as possible. Because that just means I'll have a great pipeline of future fabulous employees.
Well, and I was going to say too, I would guess in any aspect, getting your logo out there, your name, and that you're an up and coming business is important to you as the executive director. So this is almost like a free advertising for your next workforce who's going to fill in some of those roles that you're hiring for when the building opens. Is that accurate too? Having the gallery's logo out on Xello for students to see is powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that opportunity.
Yeah, of course. And I just wanted to talk a little bit more about my role. I mean, you and I have met several times. I know that sometimes with businesses, it seems like one more thing to do. I often say that you don't have to log into Xello. You're not the one that's running the program. That is through me. So I wanted to talk a little bit just from your perspective, how that's been for you. I know that you're a very busy woman getting this business up and running. So I want to talk about your workload when it comes to connecting to Xello, to myself, and work-based learning.
Yeah, sure. Just like with anything, you have to make the time. If it's a priority and it's important, setting aside a little bit of time for that investment is a piece of cake. It took less time, I think, to develop the profile and to put together in words what my vision was for participating in this program. It took less time than it would to post an ad on Indeed, to be honest with you. I mean, it was not difficult. It was not time consuming. There were not a lot of steps to it. There were questions. I know my business, so I knew the answers. I didn't have to do a lot of research and I didn't have to do a lot of preparation. I just had to answer a few questions.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that
Mhm.
perspective from the business side as well. And then is there anything else that you want to add, Deidre? I know that we've covered a lot of topics, but if you could, just sum up your perspective in a sentence or two, or anything that we've left out, please do so. And again, I appreciate you being here and sharing your story.
Sure. I mean, I just want to reiterate to anyone who is considering this program that it is, I mean, I'll just say it's a no-brainer. It really is. It's cost effective. It is contributing back to your community. We all, if we don't have children, we were children, and we know people in our community that just need some exposure of what the different businesses are that they could be involved in. And again, if you have 25,000 students who are interested, and I just need a tiny little fraction of that, and you've done all the legwork for me, why wouldn't I agree to that? It's a phenomenal program. And we're just very lucky to have that in Colorado. And anybody that I'm happy to give a reference for anyone because it's been fantastic. I just don't know what else to say.
Thank you. Thank you. And Deidre, I was thinking while you were talking, you have done something that I appreciate so much. And I often talk about when I talk to business leaders, but I think you just sort of did naturally, is connect me to other friends, neighbors, business partners who you see value in connecting to high school students. And what a great and powerful thing to have one business partner saying this is a great resource, you have to use it. And I think that you've already sent me maybe 5 or 6 emails connecting me to other organizations or people surrounding this work. So I wanted to thank you for that and remind others that if you're listening to this today and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'm not right for this right now, I'll keep it on the back burner, but my friend, neighbor, partner would connect in a heartbeat, please pass my information on. And we're always looking for industry of all kinds to be connected, small and large business. Thank you, Deidre. Really appreciate you being here. And we'll go on to talk a little bit more about business benefits and then wrap up our conversation today. So we covered a lot of these. I have these on the slide as just a reminder, but obviously business benefits include, connecting to your talent pipeline, keeping workforce local, fulfilling your talent needs, growing your own, diversifying your talent pool. Deidre said it very well, but the knowledge and skill that students are graduating with is valuable. And how do we connect to that value and benefit your business? This is a way to do that. We've already talked about the brand recognition, of course, having your profile on Xello. Even if you're not connecting any opportunities at the time, it increases your brand recognition. They can see that. Again, very important for a growing business in the community. And we talk about it through the chamber all the time, but supporting your community, both as a business partner and also as a supporter to students, right? So there's benefits all around to business and students. how do you connect? So we talked earlier about the collaborative. Any of the key players at the school districts can connect you to work-based learning. My role, again, is really unique because you can connect to me and I'll connect you to all of those students, the 25,000 that we're talking about. So if your business is interested, you connect to someone in the collaborative, including myself. We put you on the platform Xello, and that's where you're intentionally connecting to all the students in the network. And with that, I wanted to leave my contact information, best by email. You can also call my cell phone there. You can contact the chamber. I would love to just sit with your business and brainstorm about what it is that we can help you with through this high school work-based learning opportunity. So Stefanie Merrell, again, K-12 work-based learning business manager. Email is smerrill@fcchamber.org, and my cell phone is there as well. Thank you all for joining me. I'm wondering if, Paula, I see you on the call, if there's any questions that I can answer for you today.
Hey, Stephanie. No questions today. I'm just always looking for anything work-based learning to kind of sit on. And again, thank you for your time a few weeks ago for sitting down with me.
Yeah, thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
All right, with that, I think that we'll wrap up. Yvonne, thank you for having me here today. Deidre, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you all for joining us for our Talent Tuesday, and Stephanie for your great information, and Deidre for your just bringing that industry perspective and how you're taking advantage of work-based learning at the gallery. And I think for years to come, a lot of students will get a lot of experience there. So excited.
Thank you. We appreciate the support, most definitely. Thank you.
All right. Well, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.